Hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining Forever Porty. This channel is named it's an ode to my hometown of Portland, Jamaica. And if you have never been there before, I highly recommend for you to check it out. My name is Tamara, and I am so happy to be here, to be with you, to be present. I'm not sure how your day is going so far, but I hope that your day is bringing you some awesome things, bringing you some joy and peace and love. Today, I would like to talk about a topic that I feel as though I don't really hear about. I don't really hear a lot of people talking about this, and whenever I do bring it up in conversation, I feel as though a lot of people are just like, what is this? What is she talking about? Um, why is this important? And once again, the goal of my channel is for me to share my opinions, for me to share my perspectives, my insights on topics that I feel hold deep truths that can help bring healing and unity. That is the goal and the aim of the channel, and this video the same. I want to talk about forgiveness of religious institutions. Now, I don't will not get into religion too much in this video, but throughout time there have been many religious institutions, many organizations of people trying to understand the spiritual realm, people trying to make sense, people living on earth, living as humans, and trying to understand what is out there beyond being a human. And so people have received information in different ways, by different means, from different sources, and have come together over time and said, this is kind of like an instruction, a tutorial of who we think or what we think is beyond this human plane. Now, religion is organized, right? Whenever people say organized religion, I kind of feel like it's a bit redundant because I feel all religions are organized. Religions are systems. They have hierarchies. They have, protocols. Some will even have laws, bylaws, a constitution, written explanations of their beliefs, how things are to be done, etc., etc. And most religion over time, whether they were very large and it took place in by hunter-gatherer people, and you know, they may not have looked like what they look like now to what we think about religion, with a building and people going inside of a building, right? And the creature comforts that are there. But religion has existed since people have been on this earth and people have been trying to understand what is their purpose? Why am I here? So, the intention to understand why we are here and what we are here for is definitely inside, I think, every human being, or dare I'll just say most human beings are curious, right, about why they're here. And they try to figure out, is there a reason outside of the reason I have given myself as to why I'm here? Is there maybe another reason I could explore, or a bigger, greater reason? So all of these questions have driven people to look into religion, and religion has provided an answer in many ways. So I'm not here to say that religion is bad. Personally, in my belief, not everyone will believe the same thing in this life, and not everyone is supposed to. I believe that religion reflects different aspects and different concepts of trying to understand the supernatural. So, just as the way that language is one way to express a concept. So, in English, we say, let's see, this, if it can show, this is the color blue, right? But then in another language, they may say the color is azul, which is Spanish for blue, right? So is azul right? Is blue right? Do we need to fight each other over this? Hopefully not. We just agree to disagree, or we just agree to respect. Not agree to disagree, we agree to respect the other person and their point of view. I believe religion is the same. Different points of view, trying to make sense of the world around them. Now, no religion is perfect. No religion has a perfect anything, because religion relies on individuals to receive this information as to the supernatural. And usually there is a God. Not all religions have a concept of a God, but I would say a lot of them do. A creator. Usually this God is referred to in a masculine form. But religions have this concept of a God, and the God is the creator, etc., etc. Now, there are several religions that over time have made really big impacts in the world. Some religions are on the smaller side, and some have made really big impacts, and they have spread, and they have spread their message, and people have accepted their message, whether by choice or by force. And even the religions that have spread their message by force, um, as I said, there's no perfect system. So they have done good things. There are good things about their systems, right? At the same time, I feel as though even if we look on the way that some religions have spread their ideology by force, maybe some of the trauma that they have caused and visited upon people who they have forced into accepting their ways. My question is, where is the accountability for these actions? We talk a lot about therapy now, right? That's a big thing. Oh, I'm in counseling, I'm going to therapy. And people are really taking on the individual responsibility to heal their trauma. But what if there is an opportunity for organizations to take on the responsibility of their participation in causing trauma? Once again, this is not to paint a bad picture and to say, oh, everybody in a religion, every person in a religious organization has caused trauma onto other people. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying historically, there are several religions that, and even to this day now, continue to force people to be prejudicial, to make life difficult and inconvenient for other people based on what they perceive to be really a threat to their own belief system. Because if you could hold a space that, okay, this is what I believe and this is what that person believes, then that's okay. But when you can't hold that space and you feel like everybody has to see things your way, it is a bit of control. It is a bit of control. And, that energy, that's a very, kind of masculine energy, this control. Everybody must see things the way that I see them. But they say even good things, if you do them, go about them in not the best way, that can still have some not so great consequences. So what I'm putting forward is this: the religious institutions that have historically been part of and presently been part or are part of systematic trauma to individuals because of controlling them, punishing them, manipulating them, making their lives harder because individuals are not choosing those ideologies. I am making this request. Please look within yourselves. Look within yourselves. See what harm or hurt you have caused to others and have a moment. Get the organization together. You could have a global religion. Get it together and say, let us spend a week, 2 weeks, however long it is, and let us work on spending some time in meditation, in prayer, whatever it is that you do. Spending some time and asking for forgiveness. I feel like many religious sects have not done this. Many denominations, many religious, sects within a larger religion have not done this. Right? It is about bringing people to us, bring people to us, bring people to us, bring people to us. And that's okay if that's what you want to do, to bring people to you. I'm not saying to not do that. But also, what I'm saying is this: if you are aware of past traumas that have not been taken account of, why not take responsibility for them? Why not hold yourself accountable? How can you expect to bring people into your organization, but you have traumatized either their ancestors, or you're currently traumatizing their family or their countrymen and countrywomen? It makes no sense to me. Each religion, I would say a lot of religions, do talk about being personally responsible, holding yourself responsible for your actions, for your choices, for the decisions that you make. And then my question is, who holds these religions responsible? Who holds these, whether it be a religion or a spiritual organization that has done damage? It doesn't have to be a typical religion, it could be a spiritual organization. Who is holding them responsible? Should we wait for them to hold themselves responsible? Well, we know how that goes, right? You have to have checks and balances. And all I'm saying is this: I think it would be, sorry for moving about, I think it would be really great if we could have some accountability moments with some of these religious and spiritual organizations and say, we take accountability for doing this. I'm from the Caribbean, I can speak to it directly. We take accountability, the Church of England or whatever other religious group, we take accountability for participating in the slave trade, enslaving people, terrorizing and traumatizing people and their descendants, and building a system where the goal is to perpetually oppress certain people. Where is the apology for that? Why is it that the people at the time that were going to church every Sunday did not have any kind of click in their head that said, we're going to church every Sunday and we're talking about this God and God of grace and God of love and avoiding hellfire, but you are mistreating another human being and you are doing the worst to them? Where was your understanding of your God then? And so let's say we all make mistakes. As humans, we learn, we evolve. I can respect that. But where is the apology? Where is the apology? and said, you know what? We looked back on some things and this is where we went wrong and we are sorry. I feel like so many people could be set free. And we talk about this, people talk about apologies. It's important to take responsibility and take accountability for what you did. What about these religious and spiritual organizations? Do they not have to take responsibility? When someone goes into recovery for addiction, that's one of the things that they tell them is to go to the people you have wronged and be honest. Let them know what you did and seek forgiveness. Why hasn't the religious organizations and spiritual organizations that have preyed on people and damaged people, why haven't they done that? Once again, we all grow and we all change as we live longer in life. We learn more and more and we adjust our learning, and nothing is wrong with that. Hindsight is 2020. You can look back and say, "Oh my gosh, yeah, why did I do that?" But sometimes an apology is helpful. Sometimes a verbal apology can help people. I'm sure some of you right now can think of apologies that you might be waiting on. And yes, we don't have to wait on other people to apologize because we can set ourselves free. Because if other people can hold us in chains, that means other people have power over our lives. So we can set ourselves free by choosing to forgive. So, choosing to forgive systems and people that have been unjust to us, that's something we have to do. Give me 1 second. So I say all of this to say that it's just when I talk to people about this, everybody's just like, oh, yeah, never thought about that. But why? Why did we never think that these institutions should apologize to us? There's large influence, and if anything, people might think, oh, it's going to look bad as if they're saying that they did something wrong. Well, yes, that's what an apology is. But it doesn't mean that you are saying you're a bad person. It's just saying in the past, we made some missteps, and these are what the missteps are. And we are sorry. Because let me tell you, there are people that are still in bondage. There are people that are in bondage, and I will speak especially or specifically for descendants of the African diaspora, people from the Caribbean. There are many people still in bondage. The very religious system that was pushed on them, the very people that did not treat the slaves and their descendants as humans, wanted them to accept their religion. What in the hypocrisy is going on? I'm not a human, so why should I accept your human religion? Because I'm not human, right? I just think that that protection that people would have, and I know people listening to this can be triggered because it feels like it's an attack on the church or religious and spiritual organizations. It's not an attack. It's me sharing my perspective. It's me saying, hey, why haven't these churches come forward and apologized? And truth be told, there could be some church and religious organizations and spiritual organizations who have apologized. But I would say for the most part, most have not. And I think for the most part, most may feel as if it's not necessary because it's the past, right? But I do find it particularly interesting when people who have been impacted in a negative way, in a traumatic way from these organizations, they are a part of these organizations. And then if you say, okay, wouldn't it be okay if they apologize? They'll be, oh no, why do they have to apologize? But then if somebody did something to hurt or offend or traumatize you, you'd probably want them to apologize. So why do we exempt these spiritual organizations? Why do we exempt religious organizations? They're made up of human beings. Human beings are imperfect. That is the middle name of a human. Human, imperfect being. So it's not a matter of trying to tear someone down. It's not a matter of trying to make someone evil and bad. It's just a matter of, oh, here were some years, in some cases, here were some hundreds of years, or here were some days where these people were attacked, or there was genocide, or there was some assault on human life because we wanted to force and control our beliefs on other people. Why is that allowed to happen? So, what I can do, I can just say my desire. My desire is for the organizations that have wronged. And there are times where people have been traumatized by spiritual organizations and religious ones. And it's not intentional. It was not the intention of the group or the organization to do this, but it was a result of what happened. So when you know you have caused trauma, you have caused hurt, that to me is very different because you have reason to apologize. You have reason to say, we would like to apologize, we are sorry. And this is how we will do things differently. Because if you apologize and then do things the same way, then you'll just apologize for what was done in the past, but then you'll continue to hurt in the future. Doesn't make any sense, right? So I say, for people that are a part of religious and spiritual organizations, look within yourself, see what areas your organization, whether 100 years ago, 400 years ago, may have participated in some terrible things, and bring that to your leadership and say, can we organize a day of forgiveness, a day of forgiving our predecessors, a day of forgiving ourselves for not taking accountability and for ignoring this? Because you never know who you might heal, you never know who you might help set free because of whatever trauma was inflicted and was put upon the people of the past. Trauma has been shown to live for up to at least 7 generations. I think I've seen up to 23 generations, but at least 7 generations. So if people roughly live not to 100, but let's say 100 times 7, that's 700 years. So that is how long trauma can live, not always, but can live within a family system. And when you have had systems of repeated trauma, this is how much one trauma can affect a person. It can stay in DNA and genetics for up to 7 years, if not more. What if there's repeated trauma? And once again, trauma is based on perception. So some people have gone through certain experiences and perceived it as trauma, and someone else could go through the same experience and they do not perceive it as trauma. So it's not for me to presume that something was traumatic to people. But I'm just saying, when there is repeated trauma, consistently and persistent trauma, chronic, over years, over decades, over centuries, where is just one apology? People might say, oh, an apology, what's that going to do? Think about the people that you oppressed and their descendants, and you can't just say, I'm sorry. Why? Can you make up for the hundreds of years or however long it was that those people were traumatized, that those people's lives were taken because they did not want your religion? You think saying I'm sorry is something you're so incapable of? Why? Is it pride? It has to be pride. It has to be ego. It has to be ego. I don't know of it to be anything else. Is it fear of somebody's gonna sue you and say, okay, yes, I've been traumatized by this religious organization or spiritual organization. I will sue them. Maybe, but I mean, for some religious groups, what they have done on a mass scale is so large that if everybody sued them, they wouldn't have enough money. So my thing is, don't worry about money. Don't worry about the money. Apologize, admit your fault, and apologize and move on, and promise to not do it again. Because if we don't sometimes apologize for what we have done, sometimes we're kind of still doing little things right now, and we feel like, well, it's okay because, well, compared to what was done before, it's better. And it could be right that what is happening right now is much better than what happened before. That absolutely could be correct. It doesn't mean that it couldn't be a good or helpful thing to apologize. Why not help support the healing of others? Why is it that you would need others to maybe go and protest and say, we need an apology from you? Why hasn't not someone thought, any leader who has been at any level of that organization, why hasn't any leader said, let us organize an apology meeting, conference? And maybe this has happened. I'm not saying it hasn't happened. I'm not a part of every spiritual organization. Or maybe this has happened. But has it been executed? Has the idea been carried out? Not that I am aware of. I'm aware of certain religious organizations and sects within the Christian church, particularly the Catholic Church, making and issuing apologies for things that they did in the past and probably are still going on. I'm aware of that. And I think that is an example of taking responsibility and apologizing. Why cannot other religious groups and spiritual organizations who know they have preyed on people, why can't they help people out? You say you want to help people. Why don't you help them in that way? You never know, once again, who it is that might be freed. You might think, okay, well, they can get help if they join our religious system, and we can help them out that way. In a way, what you're saying is, I will not take responsibility, or this organization will not take responsibility outwardly for this. But if you join our group, we can put you onto our sacred texts, or we can put you onto our creator or our God, and he will help you. Huh? So that's a spiritual bypassing. You're spiritually bypassing your role. We wouldn't like that if that was done individually to us. We wouldn't like it if a friend or someone close to us hurt us and we went to them and they said, "Yeah, I think I see what you're saying. I think I see how you're hurt. But let me pass you on to my parents because you know what? They created me. So let me pass you on to them and have them help support your healing." Right? That would be kind of strange, right? Probably. So, why is it that these organizations are allowed to do this? To deflect, to avoid. I don't think it's particularly the best way that things can be done. So, my call and my desire is to put it out there for religious and spiritual organizations. If you have not done so as yet, get an organized apology session. Apologize to people, especially for notable historical crimes against humanity. Unfortunately, religion has a long history of crimes against humanity, even though most religions claim to want to help humanity. So the religion is the perpetrator and the doctor simultaneously. And once again, we all grow, we all get new information, and we all change, evolve over time. Beautiful that change is such a constant opportunity afforded to us. But sometimes we just need to apologize. Sometimes we just need to. So that is what I'm asking. Apologies. And it would be great if it was organized. Now, though the religious organization in Asia, do they need to apologize for things that were done to people in Africa? They might say, "Oh well, our people have never been there." Well, yeah, I think if you fall under an umbrella of a religion, you need to participate in that apology session or apology event. Not because you yourself have done anything, but because you are joining in union and you're asking for the healing of the people that have been hurt. You might be a part of one of those people or your ancestors. But even if not, you're joining and you're asking for the healing of those people. Maybe you feel as though, well, I don't need to ask for forgiveness. I didn't do anything. Okay, well, can you join and help ask for the healing? Can you join and help ask for the liberation, for the DNA, for the genetics to allow a reprogramming that releases that trauma and the effects of the trauma, because you have the trauma that was experienced and then you have the effects because of how people acted out of that trauma. So now those people, they have the consequences in their life because they did not change that trauma into something else, into empowerment. So everybody can participate in this, including myself. I think even whether you identify as a religious person or a spiritual person or not, you can sit and you can just say, I pray and I wish for all these people to be released from their trauma. That's it. That's it. If you can say, oh, I wish there is peace over in this country, or I wish you a happy birthday, it's just a wish. A sincere wish would be nice because those are the ones that usually work the best. But yeah, those are my thoughts. That's what I wanted to share. I might come back on this, but this is kind of what I wanted to get out there. Anyway, thank you so much for checking this video out. I am planning to get some new tech. So I'm planning to up my videos and kind of the the production quality of them. But I really wanted to get the message out. I thought it was important to get the message out. But I definitely plan to work on putting a bit more editing. But thank you so much for joining this video. And as always, I like to say happy birthday, whoever you are, wherever you are. Happy birthday to you. I hope that your day is filled with an abundance of joy, an abundance of peace, an abundance of love. And your birthday is the start of your new year. It's your personal new year because according to the Western system, the day that you're born starts day one. So when you make it 365, another birthday, that is when your new year starts. So happy birthday anniversary to you. Happy new year to you. And I hope that all the best things for you, I hope that they can happen for you this year. Thank you so much. If you love this video, if you like the video, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, share this video as well, and also subscribe for more content. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you on the next video. Adios.